we're speaking about the United Nations and the European Union, they are actually pushing so-called comprehensive sexual education into kindergarten and schools. In Germany, this began in the 70s and was a direct consequence of the student rebellion of the 60s, sexual liberation. So what is comprehensive sexual education? It means to start very early, even in kindergarten, to teach children about masturbation, to teach them how to use their own body to achieve lust. Teach that to children. Teach them about the different kinds of sexuality, small children, yeah? Homosexuality, bisexuality, transsexual sexuality, and give them the idea that all this is normal. Change their concept of father, mother, woman, man, and change it in the children. Then when they come to school, they are taught different kinds of sexual activity. Yeah, everything is fine. Oral sex is fine, anal sex is fine. I have little brochures for children 8, 9, 10 years where this is taught to children. Then they are prepared for the first time. They can have the first time whenever they want, as soon as they are able to after puberty. And of course now the problem of pregnancy arises. So they have to be educated in contraception. In Western classes, comprehensive sexual education means they are learning in school, in class, to handle condoms with plastic penises. Yeah? That happens in the school in order to teach them about contraception. This means what we are really doing is we are taking away their childhood. Childhood means that you have a free space where you can play and learn and discover the world and have good relations, love your parents, love your siblings, have friends. That is childhood, yeah? We keep a realm where a child can just have freedom, the freedom of being a child and playing and learning. We have to be able, children especially, to have light relationships, friendships, to have a respectful relationship with their parents, to have a kind relationship to their siblings, to have good friends, yeah? And this is, when sexuality enters it, all this changes. Sexuality is difficult to live. It forms a special connection, between a very intimate, very deep connection between people who have sexual relationships, and childhood should be free of it. So why are they teaching this to children? It is very strange, because we have a crisis of sexual abuse of children. Thousands and thousands of children are sexually abused. So this comprehensive sexuality education says if you teach children to use their body for their own satisfaction, they can protect themselves against sexual abuse, which is madness. Only if you have a sense of intimacy, you will say no, yeah? You will push away somebody who goes beyond that intimacy. Now you destroy the sense of protection of yourself by sexualizing children. And it is really, they're even using the sexual abuse crisis for pushing that into the children. There are many severe consequences of sexualizing children. Destroy their feeling of shame. This is natural to every human being. Since we are not in paradise anymore, we have a feeling of intimacy, of shame. We cannot expose everything except in love. And so when children are taught this kind of sex education with pictures, they have to talk about it, they have to write tests, they have to use the language, the feeling of shame is being destroyed. One is sexual transmitted diseases are explosive. The old sexual diseases like syphilis and gonorrhea and stuff like this comes back. And we thought we had conquered it, yeah? There's an explosion of it. And in the United States, 25% of the teenage girls have sexually transmitted diseases. Some of them make them infertile. And the problem is only once you notice the symptoms too late. Some of these chlamydia and so on, they are without symptoms for quite some time. And when you notice is, you may already be infertile. Something may have happened to the ovaries and so on. So 25% of the teenage girls have sexual disease. Then you are always in danger of becoming pregnant. We have no total control over our pregnancy. So you have to use contraceptive medication or condoms or whatever. When you become pregnant, what do? Will you be a young parent or will you abort? And these programs also push to children, okay, it's your personal decision, make a quick decision, abortion is no problem, we will help you to do it without your parents even know about it. Yeah? So this is when we talk about rights of the child, the United Nations talks about this. Give the child the right to have sex and, if necessary, abort the baby which comes, yeah? Then a third great consequences is that sexual intimate relationships go deep. And if they break up, as we all know, it causes very deep suffering in your heart. So young people lose the vision of love. They use the ability to bond, to say really yes to another person, because they have been so hurt, they have been so violated, yeah? So they lose the vision of marriage, what it actually means. They lose the vision of love. So these are very serious consequences, and we should try not to let our children be captured by this.